Hey there, amazing Spanish student. I'm so glad you're checking here with this lesson. This is an adaptation or an update from last year. Last year, I tried to do preterite and imperfect together. It stressed the students out. I now know. Let's just focus on one thing at a time. So if you want a copy of the notes, you can always click there to make a copy. Please excuse my stuffy nose. I have a little bit of a cold. So pastimes or hobbies and what we did in the past. Make sure you know the vocabulary. You have to know it. That's just one of those things. You have to know the vocabulary. We can't cover everything in one lesson. We're going to cover a lot of things, but we can't cover everything in one lesson. So it's your job to study and practice and take what this lesson here has and kind of assimilate it and put it into your own brain. So what is the preterite? It's what you did. It's an action. It's in the past. So true fact, I lived in Virginia Beach for 18 years. I no longer live there now, and I'm not talking about what I used to do. I'm just talking about what I did. I lived in Virginia Beach. This is not true, but I could say my brother did an ollie yesterday. If you want to know what an ollie is, you can click that. It's a skateboarding technique. I watched a Hallmark movie last night. So see, these things are all done. They're in the past. Here are some useful time expressions. Ayer, anoche, anteayer, la semana pasada, el mes pasado, el año pasado, hace 2 semanas, hace 2 meses. Hopefully you're going to pause this, you're going to replay this, and you're going to practice saying it. Hopefully you're going to take some time to write some notes. So again, preterite, actions in the past, things that are completed. I'm putting yo in the parentheses. Some students really like to have that yo. A native speaker doesn't necessarily use the yo because fui means went, hice means did, vi means saw. No fui al cine el año pasado. Ayer hice tareas del hogar. No vi televisión anoche. Again, try pausing, try repeating, try changing this to about yourself. Maybe you did go to the movies and you would say, fui al cine. Maybe you didn't do chores and you would say, no hice tareas del hogar. Maybe you did watch TV or maybe you watched Netflix or Paramount Plus. Vi televisión, vi HBO Max. So what have you done? What have you finished doing? Fui a, vi, plug in your own. We're going to use class time to pick some pastimes and hobbies. We're going to practice describing if and when we did these things, and we're going to put the notes in our notebooks. So as I'm going along, I know sometimes I speak kind of quickly. Pause this thing. Take the time to do some handwriting. Take the time to do your own checks and answers. So I'm going to ask you, ¿fuiste al cine la semana pasada? ¿Fuiste al teatro el año pasado? ¿Fuiste de compras recientemente? I want you to pause and try to write out some sentences about whether or not you did this. Pause. And now that you're back, here's some samples. This is about me. No fui al cine. Sí, fui al Teatro Gala en DC. Sí, fui de compras hace 2 semanas. Now I'm going to ask you, and I want you to practice speaking your answer. ¿Fuiste al cine la semana pasada? ¿Fuiste al teatro el año pasado? ¿Fuiste de compras recientemente? All right. Now, I want you to read this question out loud to me, and then I'll answer. Ready? Go ahead. Ask me this question. No fui al cine. All right. Now you, pregúntame a mí. You ask me. Sí, fui al Teatro Gala in Washington, D.C. Okay. Pregúntame, ask me if I went shopping recently. Sí, fui de compras hace 2 semanas. All right, so again, I'm going to ask you if you danced, if you practiced sports, if you visited with family. You go ahead and answer back using those cues. Ready? ¿Bailaste la semana pasada? ¿Practicaste deportes ayer? ¿Visitaste con familia el mes pasado? Pause. You try to write out your answers. Okay, here are mine. No, no bailé la semana pasada. No, yo no practiqué deportes ayer. Sí, visité con familia en agosto. All right, I'm going to ask you and I want you to read your answer out loud. ¿Bailaste la semana pasada? ¿Practicaste deportes ayer? ¿Visitaste con familia el mes pasado? All right, now you ask me. Go ahead and read that question to me. Pregúntame. No, no bailé la semana pasada. Ok, pregúntame. Ask me, pregúntame. No, yo no practiqué deportes ayer. Ok, pregúntame. Sí, visité con familia en agosto. Can you see we're doing the same pattern? We're kind of chunking it up. You're thinking about it. You're writing down your own answers. Then we're kind of practicing back and forth. I know I look really dorky, but hey, we're awesome because we're sitting here practicing Spanish. Yeah. Ready? ¿Escuchaste música anoche? ¿Pintaste ayer? ¿Dibujaste la semana pasada? Pause and write your own answer. Come on. Pause, try, write your own answer. And you're back. So here are my sample answers. I wrote sí, escuché música anoche. You might have written no. No, no pinté ayer. Sí, dibujé un poco. Ready? I'm going to ask you. You read your answer out loud to me. ¿Escuchaste música anoche? ¿Pintaste ayer? ¿Dibujaste la semana pasada? Remember, you can always pause if you need longer time to go ahead and think about your answer. You wrote it down, so hopefully you're reading it out loud. Ready? I want you to ask me, pregúntame a mí. Sí, escuché música anoche. Pregúntame. No, no pinté ayer. Pregúntame. Sí, dibujé un poco. Alrighty. So now I know not everybody talks on the phone. You might text, and that's totally cool, but you can answer, right? So pause as you're doing this. Try to think about and write out your own answer. ¿Hablaste por teléfono ayer? ¿Leíste un libro anoche? ¿Leíste una revista el mes pasado? Now, pause. Try to check your own answers after you've paused and written them out. Here are mine. Now, if you're getting tired of ayer and anoche en el mes pasado, change out the time phrases. So, sí, hablé y texteé con mi familia. Sí, leí un misterio nuevo anoche. Sí, leí la revista People. So now I'm going to ask you, and I want you to pause and say your answer out loud. ¿Hablaste por teléfono ayer? ¿Leíste un libro anoche? ¿Leíste una revista el mes pasado? Remember, just because I do things, you can say no. We're different people. We're both good, but we're different. So now you're going to ask me these questions. Pregúntame. Sí, hablé y texteé con mi familia. Pregúntame. Sí, leí un misterio nuevo anoche. Pregúntame, ask me, pregúntame. Sí, leí la revista People. I know, we're still doing this, but you've got this. So let's talk about whether or not you went out with your friends last Saturday, if you did chores last weekend, and if you went out to dinner or lunch last Friday. If you're getting tired, pause. It's been about 10 minutes, so pause and take a break if you need to pause. All right, ready? I'm going to ask you questions. I want you to try to handwrite out your answers. ¿Saliste con amigos el sábado pasado? ¿Hiciste tareas del hogar este fin de semana? ¿Fuiste a cenar o a almorzar el viernes pasado? Pause and write your own answers. And you're back. Here are my sample answers. No salí con amigos. Sí, hice tareas del hogar. No fui a cenar ni a almorzar. Kind of watching the budget right now, you know? All right, so I'm going to ask you, I want you to read out loud what you wrote. The more you practice listening and the more you practice speaking, the stronger you're going to get. So you ready? ¿Saliste con amigos el sábado pasado? ¿Hiciste tareas del hogar este fin de semana? ¿Fuiste a cenar o a almorzar el viernes pasado? I really hope you're pausing and trying to read this stuff out loud. So, here we go. You ask me. Pregunta a mí. Pregúntame. No salí con amigos. Pregúntame. Sí, hice tareas del hogar. Pregúntame. No fui a cenar ni a almorzar. All right, preterite endings. Grammar, ooh, yeah, I know, but we got to do it. So, cut off the AR, add the ending. Haste, o, amos, aron. ER and IR verbs, cut off the ER, cut off the IR, add the ending. Iste, io, imos, ieron. All righty. I'm very proud of you for giving this a try. I love you very much in a very appropriate teacher-student way. Make good choices and come back to me next class. This was about pastimes and hobbies and what we did in the past, and we used the preterite to talk about things that are completed and done.